I didn't understand. I went through his phone and I found CP. You went to the police station?
Immediately, yes. I turned it in for evidence. I was terrified for my life. He tried calling me 46 times. He had punched out a window. He's willing to harm himself to get me back.
So I was hoping for some comfort or some love that she would come back.
If what his former girlfriend says is true, this ManBoy here is one sick fuck. She said she found CSAM on his phone. Imagine her shock and horror. She did the right thing, right away. I should emphasize that these are only allegations at this point. There is a months-long line of the devices waiting to be turned over to Cellebrite for dumping. There's no evidence he's even been charged, so I'll point out that he's only allegedly a sick fuck at this time. Be that as it may, he is an emotionally manipulative ManBoy, who this unfortunate young lady endured for 3 trying years. I believe she's telling the truth, which isn't to say her version of the events is 100% accurate, but it's her truth according to how she felt and what she saw. That said, the reason I feel that way is because she answered all of Judge Wilcox's questions readily and candidly, even if the answers weakened her own case. Let's roll, nerds.
What I'm doing here, I'm looking at screens here. I'm looking at the court file electronically, so you know what I'm looking at. Are you prepared to go forward to defend against this request for an order against you?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. And is there anything that you wanted to present to the court other than testimony?
I do not have anything, Your Honor.
Okay. And then Ms. Temple, then are you prepared to go forward on this request for an order today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And there anything other than what you've already filed with the court? Anything else that you wanted the court to look at or someone to hear from?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, you would be aware. You're the one. Okay. All right. So then what we'll do here is I'm going to hear from both parties. I'll start with Ms. Temple first, and then I'll turn to Mr. Madigan and see, does you have to apply what evidence is admissible and relevant material. I have to apply the law to this. And then we'll see if an order can continue or not. But right now, there is a temporary order. Let me I always want to go back and just review what I reviewed earlier in preparation for court, just so I know where I am on this. So give me a moment just to re-review what you filed with the court, Ms. Temple, and then I'll turn to you. All right, so I do notes and I remember it more clearly now. So then Ms. Temple, why should the court issue this order well, let me first ask, Mr. Madigan, do you object to the court issuing an order against you?
Not entirely. There is some things that were marked down on the paper that I received that I do disagree with, and some of the things that were written down, but I do not disagree to the order itself.
So you read the order, right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So looking at that order, if that were to issue against you, knowing that a violation of it would be potentially a criminal offense that could put you in jail.
Right.
Anything about that order that you object to, or if I were to sign off on this order, you'd be okay? It's up to you.
So basically, I don't think that she is telling the truth, for one.
Just about the order. No, I'm asking you very particularly, if you do object to me signing the order as it is.
Okay,
tell
then
me
no,
that.
as it is, then I object.
Okay, all right, then we'll go forward with full hearing from both sides. That's sometimes folks don't care. All right, so back to you, Ms. Temple, then had a chance, obviously, to review all this before court and today, and what caused you to come to court most recently, and I understand you've been in a relationship with Mr. Madigan for how long?
3 years.
3 years. And were you living together?
Yes.
Okay. And then when did that end?
August 18th.
So this year.
Yes.
And that was when soon after that you came into court.
Yes.
Okay. So the event that you detail, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. It was the day of I filed the restraining order.
Okay. So that's what brought you to court after this 3-year relationship, is that event, the 4:41 in the morning?
Yes.
Okay. So I didn't understand. I went through his phone and I found CP. I don't know what CP is.
Pornography.
Ah, okay. And you saw that, and then you went to the police station?
Immediately, yes.
Okay. And did you have his phone, or what did you do then?
After I had found out, I had contacted my family for advice because this was a very serious situation. And so my older sister had advised me to take it to the police station. I had arrived at the Yelm police station and I had called them confirming that this is the jurisdiction. It wasn't. So I had driven to the Pierce County District Sheriff's County office, and I had told the receptionist what I had found, and she referred me to one of the deputies on duty at the time.
And so did you have his the respondent's phone?
Yes, I had brought the phone with me.
And so you took it, did you give it to the Pierce County Sheriff?
Yes, I turned it in for evidence.
All right. And then did you have a discussion with a sheriff at that point?
Very briefly, but I had inputted a written statement
With them.
for what I had seen to give them a warrant.
Okay. So then after you had contact with Pierce County Sheriff, what did you do next?
After that, after I had been with the Pierce County Sheriff, I went to my grandmother's house, and I will say, after I went to the Sheriff's County, the Pierce County Sheriff Department, the screenshot of the location is him arriving 30 minutes after I went. At least an hour after he had woken up, finding out that I had left.
So screenshot, I should look into your exhibits here. One of these
I
images
admitted
you're
it
saying?
last night,
Oh,
so I'm very sorry.
location picture. We do have it in here. Okay, so I've got a screenshot. So what is this? Tell me.
It's telling you that that is where my location was at the time. It doesn't show that I am personally on there.
Is this from your phone?
Yes, because I had taken myself off of the Find My app, so that's why it doesn't show me. And I had screenshotted it after I had found out that he had arrived at the police department, and I had showed the deputy on at the time when I was with him. I was terrified for my life. And
so it's early in the morning when you get to the sheriff?
Yes, it was 10 a.m.
Okay, well, 10. All right. And when did you see this screenshot that you've made for me? When did that come up?
Of the location?
Yeah. Was that while you were at the sheriff?
Yes, I had
Okay.
screenshotted it.
All right. And so you're at the sheriff's and you notice, and the screenshot is telling me that Mr. Madigan is close by.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm trying to see where
It's a
we've got-
little off from where the exact
Always
location of the sheriff department, but it shows like the symbol and some of the lettering.
symbol. Where to find it? I've got the Parkway Animal Hospital, the Smoke Zone, the Pico de Gallo. We're at Pacific Avenue and just past 143rd Street.
On the
So
very right of the screenshot.
very right. Parkland. Oh, I see. It's kind of cut off. Okay. So Parkland, Spanaway, that there's the sheriff badge or a badge of law enforcement to take that. So that's where you are. And then you notice that he's a couple of blocks away at that time. And is that live time?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And so what am I to take from this?
To show that he had followed me after I had taken his phone to the sheriff's department.
How do you think he could have followed you? How would he know if you have your phone and you have his phone?
It seemed, to my assumption, that he had logged into the Find My on somebody else's device. So it showed his personal login location on that specific device.
Okay. So then you also assert, all right, so it's about 10 o'clock, that he pursued hunting you with 2 trucks and 3 men. Can you tell me about what that's all about?
I found out that it was only 2 men, but the one truck was his father's truck. So his father was the one who was at the sheriff's office with him.
You know this, though.
I looked, there's Ring camera footage, and I looked at the make and model of his car. I had taken a photo of somebody who had worked on my car, and his car was in the background and is the exact same make and model. So I am assuming at this point right now.
So the Ring camera from where?
The property that we were living on.
Okay, so when did you get, all right, so you have that, you can access that on your phone.
Yes, I can.
Okay, and so while you're at the sheriff's office, you're accessing that Ring camera information?
Not
No.
at the moment.
Okay, so when did you feel you were being pursued and quote hunted by others on his behalf?
The property owner, the wife, she had messaged me about it. She was keeping in contact, telling me some specifics of his whereabouts, whether he was at the property at the moment or not. And so she had let me know all this information, that the 2 men and the 2 trucks were there. And so then I proceeded to look at the Ring camera footage.
Okay, so then you're looking at the Ring camera footage. It's after you've met with the sheriff. So generally, when do you think?
When I was looking at it,
Yeah.
I would say the day after.
Okay, so it would have been, so you say you came into court, let's see, the day it all happened, the day that you saw what you thought you saw on his phone. I'm just trying to get to that right now. And that would have been, so August 18th. So August 19th, you start looking at the Ring camera footage of where you live with him.
Yes.
So is that something that's happening right then on August 19th, or is something that was preserved from earlier?
It was preserved from when the vehicles had arrived initially at the property.
Do you know when that information was collected?
Can you specify?
Well, I'm trying to figure out when you saw it, because it makes this, when this Ring camera, you say you access this Ring camera through your phone, and it's of the property that you share with the respondent at the time. You came into court August 18th, but you say you're looking at this Ring camera information.
Oh.
Do you know when that Ring camera information was happening?
Yes, all the footage I was looking at was from the time I had left up until he had decided to leave the property. I did not think to look at the footage the day of me filing the restraining order. And
This was the morning of August 18th, the day that you did file for the restraining.
Yes, all the footage is of August 18th.
So what are you seeing on this Ring camera footage?
I am seeing his father being, my assumption, the first person to arrive to the property to pick him up, to drive to my location at the sheriff's department, and then his best friend arriving after at the property, and then him and his father meeting with him at the property, his father leaving, him and his best friend staying at the property for however long they did after that.
All right. And you're saying you're assuming, did you see the father?
Yes, but he was wearing a cap, so I could not identify his face
So you think it's his father. Why do you think it's his
due to the fact that I had seen his car's make and model in the Ring camera footage and in a photo I had taken previously in our relationship. And his physical build is at least 5'5", slender, white. So it matched the description.
And the car you're talking about, father's car or the respondent's car?
Father's car.
Okay. And then the best friend, did you see the best friend at the property? Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you were able to see that person, identify them at the property that you shared.
Yes.
All right. And then, do you know how, all right. And then, because you're alleging here something fairly nefarious, and I'm trying to figure this out. You said you were pursued and hunted with 2 trucks and 3 men. So
that's how I felt.
okay. And this is what you're talking about when you looked at the Ring camera information.
Yes.
That's where you're getting this idea. Anything else that gave you that idea?
He had tried calling me 46 times while on my way to the sheriff's department.
So that was sometime between 4 and 10 in the morning?
From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
9 to 10 a.m. All right. So 46 calls on your phone. And if you had his phone, how did they come in? How did you know it was the respondent?
The owner of the property, the wife that I had talked about, her name is Jessica. She had let me know beforehand to block her, letting me know that he was going to take her phone and use it to call me.
Okay. All right. And so it came in as Jessica.
Yes.
All right. And did you answer any of those calls?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And how did you, was there other information that told you it was not Jessica, but the respondent?
Besides her telling me that it was him calling me? No.
Okay. All right. So all those calls, and then, so you say, so when we go back to this screenshot, I can get that straight. There it is. Location picture in my file that was available to everybody. So you're at the sheriff's about 10 o'clock in the morning. When did you leave the sheriff?
I would say 11:30.
Okay. And then where did you go then?
I went to my grandmother's house.
Okay. Did you cross paths with the respondent at any time that morning?
No.
Okay. So have you seen the respondent since you filed for this order?
No.
Okay. So you go to your grandmother's, and then what?
Can I backtrack for a
Sure.
second? The screenshot of the text messages of him trying to contact me initially through text message before he had contacted me through phone.
Mhm.
He had sent me a photo of his arm bloody, and Jessica had informed me that he had punched out a window. And that definitely gave me a scare because he is willing to harm himself.
So this was, it was filed August 19th, which makes sense. And it says, please answer. It's Jesse, please, baby, please. And then a picture of a bloodied, an arm with lots of blood spots on it. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Please come back. Please answer. Honey, please just once. So you received this, you think, when?
I did not receive the messages on my phone because I had blocked his number and Jessica's number. So I cannot, this is a screenshot Jessica had sent me from her phone, I believe.
Okay. And so you got this later. It says 10:30. I don't know.
It was probably when he got back from the department then.
So you think it was sometime on the 18th of August during the day, because it's late outside. It looks like there's grass.
Since I didn't receive them at the moment, I didn't know the time that it was sent.
Okay, and so you got this from somebody else. Do you recognize this arm as the respondent's?
Yes, it is. And though in the photo, those are my Crocs
Those are your Crocs that somebody else is wearing, or
that Jesse Madigan is wearing
okay, why would he be wearing your Crocs?
because I believe he didn't want to put his own shoes on at the moment.
Okay. And there's not a whole lot of identifiers in this picture. It's grass. There's that white something going along the grass underneath. Anything about this picture tell you anything more?
Besides his skin tone, no.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you get that from the property owner that you were living, and you're thinking this is also, what are you thinking? I mean, there's blood on an arm. What are you thinking?
Initially, it looks like a threat
Why?
because if he's willing to harm himself to get me back, he's willing to harm me.
And why do you think is this something that's happened in the past, threats to self-harm?
He has mentioned to me in the past that if I left, he would kill himself.
Okay. And did you hear that more than once?
Yes.
So in 3 years, and how did that affect you when he would say things like that?
At first, I did try to break up with him once before. I do not know the date of this, but it was this year that I know of. I had came up to him and tried to approach him gently, saying, "Hey, this is not working out. I think that I was trying to have a discussion with him, asking him is this even what you want in a relationship?" And telling him that this is not what I want in a relationship. And he proceeded to start crying and telling me that he has nowhere to go, he has nothing to live for, and that essentially he needed me in his life.
So nothing to live for. Did he say something like, "I'm going to kill myself if you leave," or that was how he coined it, nothing to live
I think other than that interaction, he had just casually mentioned it as sort of a joking manner, I believe. Kind of like, "Oh, if you ever leave, I'll kill myself."
So when did you start believing that this was a threat to you?
When I had found out that he's not the person that I thought he was.
So on the 18th?
Yes.
Okay, so before that, you didn't think he would harm you. Did you believe he would harm himself?
Yes, and he does have anger issues with the screenshot of, or not the picture of my passenger visor mirror.
The right side mirror. All right.
That one I specifically submitted because one day we were going to DSHS to get food benefits for him. They had turned him down, and it was an easy solvable problem. And he had gotten angry and punched the roof of my car very hard and had shattered the mirror. And so at that point, I knew that if he had any vendetta against me, he was strong enough to hurt me. And
so this is in a visor?
Yes.
And the visor is up?
Yes.
And he punched the roof, which meant he ended up punching the visor, which broke this mirror.
Yes. Out of
And
anger.
okay. How soon did you discover that was broken?
Immediately.
Okay. And then, all right, so that actually is a ways back that you believed he could harm you. He had the capability. Do you know when that was? Generally, last year, this year?
I would say last year.
Okay, so sometime in 2020. Right. All right. And so then this year sometime you tried to break up with him. He says, "Nothing to live for, nowhere to go." And how did that discussion resolve itself?
I ended up giving in to his pleading and continued to stay in the relationship.
Okay. And then August 18th or August 14th occurs. You're looking at his phone, trying to get my dates right. August comes. You end up at the sheriff's. Because of the Ring camera information, you believe that he is trying to find you or track you down with others. Did he? And he never did.
He didn't successfully.
Okay. And right. Let me see if I have other questions. If you have other things, I'll come back to you. But you also have pictures of a camper, a door, and a camper front door that are labeled as such in the file. And what's this about? What am I supposed to take from those?
So that is the camper door window that he had punched out.
Okay. And do you know when this happened?
That was on the 18th.
Okay. And so after or before you left?
After I had left.
All right. And how did you know? So obviously somebody took a picture. Did you take a picture? How'd you get that?
After he had left and I filed the temporary restraining order and I got confirmation from the property owner that he was not on the property anymore, I had went back to collect my belongings. And then I had taken a picture then.
Okay, so on the 18th, you went back to the property.
Not on the 18th.
Oh, maybe the 19th, the day after?
No, it was 2 weeks after.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I did not feel safe.
So the end of August,
Yes.
beginning of September. You contacted the property owner, Jessica,
Yes.
discovered it was safe to go in and get your stuff. So you got your stuff. Okay, so 2 weeks later. And so if you see this 2 weeks later, why do you think it? How do you know who did it and when it happened?
It was the only window that was shattered. Besides, no, that was the only window shattered after I had been informed that he had broken a window.
So you didn't see him do it. It was good before you left. 2 weeks later, it's broken. Looks like the place is kind of trashed.
It was like that before I left.
Okay. So it's the door looks off kilter. Was it also like that before you left? Okay. So the door was already not good, but the window in the door was different. That's what was broken.
Yes.
Okay. And that was 2 weeks later. And why do you say that the respondent did this?
The messages from Jessica
Okay.
telling me that he had punched a window, the photo evidence of his arm bleeding, and then me only saying that that was the only window that had been punched.
Okay. All right. And then let's see, there's other things that you provided the court. Just want to go through. So since you came to the court to file for this order, you haven't seen nor heard from the respondent. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So no texts, no photos, no messages through others.
His father had contacted my grandmother.
Okay.
That's the only form of contact that happened.
Okay. And let's see. All right. I have other questions here. All right. So, I mean, some things you're alert, he's not willing to clean up after himself, but angry over video games, impact on your relationship, punched the roof of your car that we've got evidence of. It shattered the mirror that was in the visor, threatened to kill himself if we ever broke up. Constant stonewall. What does that mean?
If I were to ever open up to him emotionally, there would just be nothing.
Okay. All right. And then, so held me down during playing around. What's that mean?
Oh, sometimes it's like if I were to ever pretend to wrestle him, if we were to ever doing that type of stuff or play fighting, He would hold me down with all of his weight.
And did he know you didn't want that?
I believe he got off of me when I said no.
Okay. So it wasn't as if you had to struggle or repeatedly tell him to stop that?
Yes.
Okay. Did that happen often?
No.
Okay. All right. And then you say you've had heart palpitations and chest pain. Was that throughout this relationship or more recently or what?
I started noticing heart palpitations during our relationship, not before, but during and after. I've gotten an AKG for it, but nothing came up certain.
In talking with the medical providers, did you get an idea about why that was happening?
I have been talking to medical providers, but I have yet to get a referral to a cardiologist.
But you apparently think it has something to do with that. Why did you put it in your petition, I guess is the question.
I believe it's causing physical distress to my body.
Okay. All right. I've asked a lot of questions here. Anything more that you want me to focus in on or anything else you'd like to say that you haven't been able to say?
The hypermobile was diagnosed during the relationship.
So how does that affect you? What does that prevent you from doing or?
I have a poor judgment on how violent or aggressive someone will be.
Okay. So you're not a good judge of your own self protection, kind of your own, if something dangerous is coming, that's part of the condition.
Yes.
So you're not able to judge that well. All right. And is there anything you can do to help with that? Or is there anything you're taking or doing to help with that?
I think the second or third day after I had enrolled back into counseling services.
Okay. I mean, after you filed this petition?
Yes.
Okay. And so it's really just kind of talk therapy that helps with that potentially.
Yes.
Okay.
I take propranolol for my heart too.
Okay. So medication to regulate your heartbeat.
And headaches.
And headaches. Okay. And those have all been, some of that has been diagnosed before, but now you're experiencing more in this relationship. And now back to therapy 2 or 3 days after you filed for this order and this event. Okay. All right. Anything else you brought somebody with you? Is that someone you wanted the court to hear from or not? You don't have to, but that's up to you. Oh, you're Steve Stemple? Okay. Right. All right. Anything else you can think of or you take a moment there and think I've talked to my clerk anyway. Okay. Anything else come to mind?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to turn to Mr. Madigan. Mr. Madigan, so obviously we had a chance to look at a lot of this, read the petition. This is your opportunity to tell me why I shouldn't issue this order. So
Right.
What do I need to know?
So basically, I'll explain to you my side. I woke up the morning of the 18th, I believe, about 8 o'clock, 8:30. And I woke up and I realized that all my belongings were missing. My phone, my TV, my Xbox, PlayStation, monitors, everything like that. She had taken everything from me and I didn't know what was going on, right? I had absolutely zero clue what was going on. I woke up, I realized that she was also gone and I didn't know what to do. So that's when I had went to Jessica to ask for her phone to be able to contact Faith because I didn't know what was going on. About an hour and a half later, maybe at about 11 o'clock, I'm not sure, my father showed up because she had contacted not only my father and my mother, but multiple of my family members about what she was doing with whether it was my phone or my belongings or whatever the case may be. Right. And I would have submitted those to the court, but I was not able to get a hold of my family members who had the screenshots of those conversations because she sent the messages from my phone to my family members.
Okay.
And the trucks that she saw, yes, they were my father's and my friend's truck. yes, it was my father and my friend, but no, we did never pursue her or her family for any of my belongings. My dad showed up at the property because Faith had texted him through my phone saying what she was doing with my phone and turning it into the police station. So he had showed up to the property to make sure that I was all right. I had texted my friend from my father's phone to see if maybe he could help me out and get some of what belongings I still had left to somewhere else to make sure that she couldn't take anything else. There's already an open police report for the fact that she had taken a bunch of my belongings. It's a grand theft because it's multiple thousands of dollars worth of belongings in clothes, electronics, miscellaneous items, collectibles, whatever it may be. And ever since then, I've just kind of been sitting here and dealing with this whole situation. This whole situation has costed me to lose my job. It has costed me to lose my place of living, and it has costed me my income.
So, so we have this screenshot that we've talked about,
Right.
purple circle, and what's this? What do you take from this?
The location screenshot, you say?
Yes.
So I didn't. I did end up showing up to that police station, but that wasn't until about maybe noon, give or take, maybe 12:30, and then my friend had taken me there as well.
Why did you?
I didn't know it was. What was up?
Why did you go there?
Because I didn't know where my phone was or any of my belongings were, and my friend was able to track the location of my phone, and he saw that my phone was there, so that's where we had went, so I could talk to the sheriffs or whoever was there to see what was going on, because I had no idea what was going on.
Okay, so you received, or through your father received, certain messages from whom? You think?
From Faith texting from my phone before she had turned it into the police.
All right. All right. And then, so you're missing a TV, Xbox, your phone, other things.
Oh, I've got a whole list of stuff, and it's already on a police report.
All right. And
She still
so
has my bank cards as well. She still has some other personal belongings of mine that I need, like insurance cards and court paperwork from my car accident a couple years ago. Yeah.
okay. So have you gotten any of that back?
I've gotten my car keys and a small box of belongings where half the stuff wasn't even mine. It was still hers.
Okay. All right. So the other, so do you agree you've been together about 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And this was the final breakup, sounds like.
Yes.
All right. Anything you want to comment about the previous events that came? I mean, this came, we got 3 years here. Is there anything you want to comment about that? You mentioned there were some things you didn't agree with in the petition.
Right. So in the petition, there were some boxes marked off saying like electronic monitoring for an ankle bracelet and treatment as a sex offender. I don't need an ankle monitor, nor am I a registered sex offender, so I don't need
Court
that.
doesn't have that authority, so we're not, I
Right.
can't really deal with any of that. So you don't have to worry about that.
Right. And then as of for recent events, she did try to break up with me once. And I did not say that I would kill myself, but I did say that I did not have much to live for. I will be honest and transparent about that, because I'll be honest, I was raised with not a whole lot. I didn't have a whole lot of family. I've never had a whole lot of friends. So in my life, in my very small circle, she was really all that I had.
Okay.
So I really did not have much.
So what did you mean by that? What did you want her to take?
What's up?
What did you want her to take from that statement?
I just wanted her to know that I valued her a lot. I valued her a lot. She was the only person in my life that made me feel like I was worth something.
All right. And then this photograph that we have of an arm outside that looks bloody.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, that is me. Yes, I punched out the window. And I will say I have never let my anger or my emotions ever get the best of me like that. And at the time, again, it was still at the time where I had no idea what was going on. And all I knew was she was gone, and so were all of my belongings. So yes, I was very frustrated.
All right. So that's when you punched out the camper door window.
Yes.
All right. So that was what, the day of or day after, somewhere in
the day of, yes.
Okay. And you hurt yourself in the process. So did you take that picture?
Yes.
And where'd you send it?
Two-face number.
Why?
Obviously, she did not see it because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what she was gone for. I didn't know what was going. I thought she had left and just took my stuff because she felt like it. Like I said, I didn't know what was going on. Or
What did you want? I guess a better question is, what did you want her to take from that picture of your bloody arm?
to let her know that I wasn't okay.
Okay, meaning what did you want her to do about that?
I mean, I thought we were still in a relationship at the time, so I was hoping maybe for some comfort or some love or whatever the case may be. Because like I said, I've never self-harmed myself. I've never done anything like that in my life, and that's the first time I've truly ever let my anger or my emotions get the best of me. So I was just looking for some comfort.
What did you hope for the result? Okay, what did you hope for the result from that picture being sent to Ms. Temple?
That she would come back.
Okay, all right. And all right. And I see that there were words around that. Were those your words? Please come
Yes, ma'am.
back. Okay. Why wasn't that enough as opposed to sending a picture of your bloody arm?
Because in the past, sometimes words haven't been enough with her. Sometimes I need to send her or show her what's going on for her to understand the severity of a situation.
Okay. What have you sent in the past then to help her understand what you're thinking or what you need?
When I had gotten into a car accident, basically, she thought it was something really minor and was kind of just blowing it off until I had sent her pictures and video of the car that I was in and the other car that hit us that was flipped over in the middle of the highway and everything like that. So ever since then, if she isn't taking something serious, I usually tend to send a picture to show the severity of what's going on.
All right. So the car accident that you didn't feel she was taking seriously, send her pictures that it was bad. Anything
Yes.
else that you've had to do that to get her understanding?
Not that I can remember, but there were a couple other situations that I just cannot remember. My apologies.
Okay, but you have some recollection of sending photos to reinforce what? That she should come back, that she should worry about you?
To understand the severity of what's going on and why it's not as simple or complicated as it may seem.
Okay. But to understand, and then hoping that if she understood that severity, what would you hope she would do with that?
At least come back and try and talk to me.
Okay. All right. So you don't know what kind of pictures or information you sent?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. So anything else you want to say on this?
Let me look through these papers, see if there's anything I can reiterate on. Apologies. Not that I can think of with the whole situation at hand. All I can say is I would just like my belongings back before a lawsuit is filed.
All right. Yeah, this isn't the lawsuit that can provide any relief there.
Right. No, I understand.
All right. So you don't live at this place either anymore, the trailer that we have pictures of. Okay. And we understand from Ms. Temple that there hasn't been any contact between the two of you. She hasn't sought you out. You haven't sought her out since the
No, Your Honor.
18th. Okay. All right. And you were together for 3 years. You haven't sought her out.
No, ma'am.
That's kind of, why not? You didn't get served this until later, so kind of wondering.
Well, I didn't want to. I knew that this protection order was coming, and I just hadn't been served with it yet. So I just wanted to not press the issue or further the issue at hand.
Okay. Well, it was served on you on what, September 8th. This occurred around August 18th. So there's a lot of time between that.
So I believe either it was the day of or maybe it was the day after, maybe the day after that of the 18th. I'm sorry, I cannot remember a specific date. She had texted, I believe it was my stepmom or either my father, that she was going to put a protection order on me. And so ever since I knew about that, I have veered away. I haven't even tried to send anybody out there. I haven't went out there myself. I have not tried calling or texting her from any other people's phones. I haven't tried from my own device. I have veered away because, again, I don't want to push the issue even more.
Okay, I see. So you kind of knew through your family then early
Yes.
on. Okay, that's what you meant. Right. Okay, anything else, Mr. Madigan?
Not that I could think of, no, Your Honor.
Okay, let me kind of look through everything one last time and see if I have any further questions of anyone. All right, so Ms. Stemple, Mr. Madigan, I am granting an order to Ms. Stemple, preventing you from having contact with her. And I find under the law here that there has been, through this time frame, this event and previous events, of course, a conduct directed at Ms. Stemple by you that does constitute an unlawful harassment. The damaging of her property, the threats to her take on it, threats to harm yourself or kill yourself if she were to leave, which manipulated her back into a relationship. Your take on it is she was important to you and wanted her to know that. The sending of this bloodied arm, showing the extent to which you'll go if she's not apparently there or responding to you or being in the relationship, is mirrored in your behavior previous to that. Shows, the words, come back, that's one thing, but then showing a bloodied arm gives further manipulation and intimidation, which was taken and which has caused serious emotional distress, detrimental to the petitioner. There was no lawful or legitimate purpose for that. So this order will be in effect for a year, and you don't contact Ms. Stemple in any way, shape, or form. So
Okay.
not through family, not through friends, not through social media, not in person,
Yes, ma'am.
not at all. So
May I add one thing, if you don't mind, Your Honor?
Sure, go ahead. What?
She said that the damage to the property was hers. The property was mine.
Yeah.
I'm sure that doesn't make a difference, but I just had to put that out there.
Not much. It sounded like the place was trashed before all this happened anyway. So that's what I asked, and that's what I was told. So that's not something I'm taking into consideration. So I'm going to write this up. This order is available to you through your Zoom instructions. It's available to you by contacting the civil department. You can stop in, you can call, however, but this order is probably important for you to have a copy of. So I suggest that you do access it because it's in effect now. And all right. So again, feel free to contact the civil department to get a copy, or you can go to the court file by this afternoon, certainly, and get your own copy, or stop in and you can get a copy. But it doesn't have to be served on you because you're here. You know what it says. It matches the temporary order. It's in effect at least until September 15th of 2026. And Ms. Madigan, if within 3 months of that time, if after June 15th, you want to ask the court to consider having this order go longer, you would have to let the court know you want that. And then we would set a hearing and everyone would be heard from again before that could happen. But the order will expire on its own on September 15th of 2026 unless you do something about it far in advance. And don't wait until September if you want the court to consider that, because the order would likely expire before you could have that hearing. I'm going to give Ms. Stemple a copy since she's here, but that's it for today. Mr. Madigan, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can be on your way.
Thank you. Have a good one.